the benefits and misconceptions of the 9-8 number. This is what we're going to talk about today. I would like to welcome you to the foundation. My name is Sot L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L. And we're going to get into it, today. It's going to go down because there's a lot of people that have misconceptions and don't understand the benefits of the 9-8 number. If you're not familiar with the 9-8 number, that is a number that is highly coveted by those looking to go private. All of it really boils down to taxes. And I don't give legal advice, tax advice. I'm not a lawyer nor an attorney. I'm not a part of an attorney firm. This is for informational and educational purposes only here at the foundation. As always, since the day one, we understand this, but it all boils down to taxes from my comprehension. And those who may understand or believe that there's no real law with regards to taxes, there's that. Then, there's an SPC process, secure party creditor process, and more information on that. Check out spcuniversity.com. Shout out to Yusuf L over there doing his dance. But nonetheless, 9-8 number is an EIN. We're going to get into that. So with that being said, I think we should just jump into it. I just wanted to give that, refresher. And for those who have not, ever, heard of this, I just want to say from the jump, this is all about taxes. It's all about not paying taxes or not having to pay taxes, not being a taxpayer, maybe moving out of that status. But let's just jump into this. We're going to jump into the benefits. If you're not familiar, you might learn something. And if you may know everything, you might learn something. As you know, here at the foundation, we deal with official sources. This is no conjecture, hypotheses, philosophies. None of that stuff happens over here. It has to be substantiated and verifiable. With that being said, let's get this out the way. Make sure you check out welcometothefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list, please. You get them. You get those exclusive offers, notifications, events, emails, informational blasts, things of that nature. Still working out the kinks on that dance. Trying to be private. Not even that. Being private, specifically with business, can be difficult. Nonetheless, sign up for the email list. We have a plethora of information on the website. We also have the ability for you to book a consultation. It's right here. Look at that. Book a consultation. Throw your name in there in your email. It's $55 an hour. Just going to let y'all know up front. I think that is a slamming deal. That is a spectacular, miraculous deal. It's been since day one. We're talking almost 10 years now. That's the consultation to speak to Sot L. We could talk about your personal situation. Also, we have education. If you're interested in getting a passport without the social, we got that dance, the trust series, and the trust primer. If this stuff is new to you, this is where I would start. I would start right here in the education. We also have documents that we saw people charging for. So, you can go down here, just grab and go. No fee. Free, no fee. And may not necessarily have to do with what we talk about here at the foundation, but as I said, if I saw it being charged for in any way, shape, or form, that's what happened. Also, we have the most comprehensive, I would say, available on the planet. Flat earthers on the plane. Regardless. Link in the description if you are interested. Learn how to administer, create, protect, and function in commerce by way of private trusts. This is what it's about. And this, it gets in with the 9-8 number, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this is it right here. Learn at your own pace. No tests, no quizzes, really application and success in the application of what you learn is the test. And I would say the other test is teaching your successors so they can succeed you in your trusteeship would be the other test. Outside of that, no test. Learn at your own pace. You can rewind. You can start over. You know, it's your dance. As I said, link in the description. I don't think people understand not only the quality, but the quantity of information that exists within this. And y'all have to read between the lines when I speak, especially about trust and, stuff. You have to read between the lines because the foundation, this is for people who are looking actively. And honestly, I would say this dance, if you're looking to go private, whether it's taxes or you're trying to create or recreate your estate, you're looking at your children, you're looking at your parents, whatever it is you're doing, and you're looking to make this transition with private trust, it is a spiritual dance. And with that, you have to be right. You got to be on the path, I'm telling you. And if you're on the path, you understand and comprehend and overstand or whatever you want to refer to as what I'm saying. You can hear me when I'm speaking. But this right here, right here, this is it. This, I offer no guarantees. This is an illustrious type of sales. This isn't sales. The foundation is an educational firm, not a business. Also, if you want to start your business, I like that segue. Did you like that? This is a very comprehensive course in and of itself. If you've never started your own business, if you did and it didn't work out too well, this is the course for you. I mean, it goes through everything. And I will say this, listen, I don't know anyone who started their business, the first business they started, it was successful. No one. I don't know anyone who jumped on a bicycle the first time trying to ride it and never fell. And you got to kind of look at it like that. So with business, you got to start now. The best time to start a business was yesterday, last week, probably 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. And just get your experience, get your confidence up, because experience and confidence, in my opinion, is very, very important with regards to starting a business and sticking to it, because sticking to it is what makes it successful. Link in the description if you are interested in your Learn at Your Own Pace course of how to start your business. And last but not least, we do have the Foundation magazine. It is a luxurious dance. There's a physical, there's a print edition. We get into a lot of things from, horticulturalism, plants, how to grow your own food, privacy with regards to electronics and the World Wide Web, Internet of Things, IoT. And of course, family foundations, trust, things that we don't necessarily go super in depth on the show. And these things are beautiful in my opinion. The covers, the illustrious colors that come with them, they're luxurious. There's a link in the description of this video if you want to sign up for your subscription. We have a magazine digital edition as well as a magazine print edition. It is completely up to you. 100%, I promise you. 100%. So check this out. Let's get into this. Let me go back to this. Look, remember this? All right, so look. Misconceptions and benefits of the 98 number. So a 98 number, I'm just going to say it's an EIN, employer identification number. Matter of fact, let's just jump into this right now. Like, boom. Official sources, this is from the IRS.gov, www. No one says that anymore, but let's be specific, .irs.gov. Employer identification number. Every organization must have an employer identification number, EIN, even if it will not have employees. The EIN is a unique number that identifies the organization to the Internal Revenue Service. Okay, so corporations, LLCs, partnerships, sometimes sole proprietorships, depending on how you're doing it, trusts, estates, nonprofits, all of these, anything or body, because technically it is a thing and a body, fictional, that must make purchases and receive money, regardless, whether it's from the federal government or it's from customers or it's from other businesses, doesn't matter. Needs an EIN. You need an EIN to open a bank account. And, maybe you should think about your social security number. What is that? Because you need that to open a bank account for an individual. But, you can check out a previous show with regards to that. Either way, an EIN is required to open a bank account in the United States and its insular possessions. So, a lot of people are dealing with issues. Some of those issues may be back taxes, right? Or some people are dealing with issues with regards to knowledge, or specifically their comprehension with regards to laws, codes, statutes, manuals, maybe. And specifically when it comes to, the thing with regards to taxes. And I'm not here to tell you what it is for you. I'm not here to tell you what you do or what you should believe. That's not up to me. We all have free will, and I think it is a very arrogant man or woman that believes that they can tell someone else what they're supposed to do with their life and their time on this earth. But with that being said, there are specific implications with regards to the type of structure that is used in commercial transactions in the United States. And when I say commercial transactions specifically, not only the conversion of energy into a viable currency, we'll just say that, specifically dollars, Federal Reserve notes, opening bank accounts, because there's business accounts, there's personal accounts. And then when it comes to the filing of tax returns, depending on what the EIN is, right, and its structure, and in certain circumstances, its election, its Internal Revenue Service election, it is determined what tax form is filed, right? Follow me. Whether it's an individual tax form, it's a corporate tax form, it's a trust tax form. Now, with each form, there are, from my comprehension, this isn't legal advice, there are benefits and misconceptions specifically with regards to comprehension, but there are benefits and then detriments. Now, within that form, there are rules, and there's rules to each form, and depending on how you receive the income, the biggest thing is, how was the income received? What structure was receiving the income? In the case of, quote, employment, it would be the individual. So there's an individual tax return. So if you're getting checks every year, there's an individual, right? And then there's maybe checks every year. If you're getting checks every week or 2 weeks, that's an individual. You're getting a W-2 every year. There's contractor income. Generally, that's going to be from business to business. So a company paying another company, a corporation paying an LLC, a corporation paying a trust, a corporation, and then sometimes you're going to see 1099 income with individuals. That's just the way it is. But the individuals, 1099 income, it still must be reported on an individual tax return because that's the structure that received it in commerce. And some people will be like, why you call it a structure? That's me. An individual is me. Okay, I'm not here to argue with you. Not here to tell you what to think. We just talking here. I could be crazy every day. Please understand. I could be out of my mind. The bottom line is, when it comes to taxation, the first nexus point, in my opinion, I'm not a legal scholar, in my opinion, is what type of structure is on the contract or the paperwork or whatever to receive the income, right? So now you have those who have gone out and messed with structure. And then you have those who have gone out and understand certain tax benefits, and they've looked into trust. And this is where it ties in. So in order to obtain an EIN, you got to complete a Form SS4. There it is right there. You can check it out. Form SS4. And, there's, depending on how you fill out the form, and what information you give, so on and so forth. But see, the trust, right? And this is, okay, I'm still on the IRS website. This is irs.gov. I think I will make a commitment. I will leave a link in the description to everything that I'm showing on here from the IRS website. And then the other government website that we're going to look at in a second. But this is foreign trust. This is foreign trust. This is from 1998. Doesn't matter. Foreign trust. They're talking about foreign trust here, right? In general, this is trust taxation over here on the right. In general, trusts are fiduciary arrangements created by persons, the grantors, whose transfer of ownership of property of other persons, the trustees, subject to an obligation to protect and use that property for the benefit of different group of persons, the beneficiaries. And that obligation is going to be evidenced in writing. It's going to be a trust instrument. Right? So now we have foreign trust right here. And what it says with regards to foreign trust is there are two returns, Form 3520 and Form 3520A. And what this is foreign trust, right? There's this belief that if the trust is foreign, the trust doesn't have to pay taxes, right? There's a belief. Now, is that true or not? I'm not here to say that, but there's a belief. But I will say, they got stuff with regards to beneficiaries, right? So here we go. A trust may be a grantor or non-grantor trust. A grantor trust is a trust in which the grantor retains certain elements of control over use of trust property or trust income. A grantor may also hold a reversionary interest in the trust, meaning that the grantor has a right to future enjoyment of trust property. The grantor is then treated as the owner of the portion of the trust in which his or her power of interest applies. Generally, the grantor's trust income and expenses attributable to the U.S. owner must be included on the owner's U.S. income tax return. In addition, under grantor trust rules, foreign trusts to which U.S. persons have transferred property are treated as grantor trusts if they have any U.S. beneficiaries. And this is where it gets into play. They want to be the trustees, but does it have a U.S. beneficiaries? And you can look at the comments of the last video and read between the lines how to legally avoid taxes, trust, and hopefully you peep what I'm talking about. There's a nuance that I don't say directly outright. And it's due to my fiduciary responsibility. Not trying to get anyone in trouble, You need to learn how to administer trust before you. So, overall, 9-8 is a trust EIN, right? And then look, here we go. This is the IRS as well. This talks about what campus is. The system assigns a 9-digit EIN in the format of 2 digits hyphen 7 digits. The first 2 digits of the EIN prefix are determined by the campus of record assigning the EIN. Unless the taxpayer is applying using an online EIN application, modernized internet EIN, or through the Small Business Association. Refer to the table below. So if you look down here under Philadelphia, you will see that 9-8, the prefix 9-8. And I'm gonna just be honest. There's a number that you call, and if you answer the questions correctly, they'll issue a 9-8 number for the structure. Now, I do want to say it's a trust, and there's people out here who get the 9-8 number and they try to use it instead of the Social Security number in association with the individual. They say that, I don't understand that. It's a trust EIN. But if you answer the questions right, they will issue an EIN, and they don't require a Social Security number. I'm just saying. I'm saying what I know. So people get this 98 number, right? This trustee EIN, and they feel like it's foreign trust, doesn't have to pay taxes. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, they look at the grantor and they look at the beneficiaries. They also look at the trustee. There's some sort of status question. Is it a U.S. beneficiary? Is there a U.S. trustee? Is there some sort of minimum contacts with the United States that allows them to operate under the presumption that one of the trustees or the beneficiaries are U.S. citizens? And people don't want to hear that, but I'm seeker of truth. I'm Sot L, so I have to speak it. I'm going to say it. So I'm not here to give all types of bad news. And I understand if you're listening to me, watching this, and you just don't understand what I'm saying. That's cool. You will. If you stay on the path, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So we got this letter. So this is a letter. And obviously, like I said, I will link all of this stuff in the description. You can check this out on your own. But this is a letter that the IRS sends, right? It's a compliance check. Compliance check is not an audit or investigation under Internal Revenue Code or an audit under Section 530, okay? This letter is being sent to you because our records show that a form W-2 wage and tax statement was issued indicating that employees were covered by a qualified employee pension plan with the reporting employer's employer identification EIN beginning with this number 98 or 98. EINs beginning with the number 98 may identify foreign entities that maintain domestic trusts in the United States. This is the truth. Don't let anyone tell you different. Show them this episode. And then ask them some questions. Methods to accurately identify domestic trusts maintained by foreign entities are being reviewed, as well as general information about the trust and any other domestic trusts you may maintain. So there's foreign trusts and there's domestic trusts. And a domestic trust falls 100% under the Internal Revenue Code and one of the states' statutory code. Federally, under the Internal Revenue Code, and at the state level, under the state statutes. These are public trusts or domestic trusts, according to the Internal Revenue Service. And they're taxed differently. They're either grantor, non-grantor, they're simple, they're complex, or they're simple, complex, or grantor. 3 different types of trusts the Internal Revenue Service recognizes and identifies as. Non-grantor, grantor, simple, and complex. Failure to provide this information could result in further action or examination of your plan. And this is why when you're obtaining a trustee EIN from the Internal Revenue Service, one of the questions is the trust going to have any employees? If it's a foreign trust, probably not. And I think that's a trick question because it should be contractors. And if you don't understand why, stay on the path. You will. But this is just to show what the IRS says. EINs beginning with the number 98 may identify foreign entities that maintain domestic trusts in the United States. Think about it. Now, we obtain a 98 number. Let's say we obtain a 98 number or 98 EIN prefix for a trust. Where's the trust indenture? Do you know how to administer that trust, that foreign trust? Why is it foreign? Do you know the answer to that question? I'll just say it. It's foreign to the United States because it was not created within the jurisdiction of the United States and is not subject to the laws of the United States or any state within the jurisdiction of the United States or any state jurisdiction. It only comes under Internal Revenue Code with regards to how the income is dispersed and how it's taxed. That's why trusts, if administered properly, the IRS assumes that, there's going to be no tax on the trust because most trusts, they're going to disperse to the to the beneficiaries or beneficiary all the taxable income. So they're looking to the beneficiaries. Now, is the beneficiary an individual? Well, that income must be reported on an individual tax return. You see how this goes? There are specific laws, statutory laws, with regards to the payment of individual expenses with regards to the trust, such as rent and clothing and food and so on and so forth. But under contract law, the contract makes the law, and expenses are according to the contract. That's why it only comes under, this structure only comes under Internal Revenue Service law and code with regards to how the income is dispersed and how the income is taxed. In all other situations, we're talking about a contract. And people who understand this, they know this is what they're trying to do. But the indenture, because it's an audit, look, please provide. I'm telling you guys, this is out of love. This is out of 100% love. Please provide us the information requested in the enclosed form. You may also furnish any other documents or clarifying material that you believe will be helpful for us to review. Failure to provide this information could result in further action. Now, this is with regards to a plan. I just found this real quick. They have other letters with regards to those people who are running around with these 9-8 numbers thinking they're doing their dance, and they're not. And I've had enough consultations with people who learned what they thought was the information that is being taught at the foundation and ran with it. And when there is a tax determined and owed, they can't substantiate it, that there's no rebuttal. There's no substantive rebuttal that's going to be accepted by the Internal Revenue Service. Now they owe the IRS all this money. It's a complicated situation. I've seen it with clients with corporations, well, specifically LLCs. They go to LegalZoom, get an LLC, but they don't file the election. And LegalZoom's not going to file the election for you. People don't even understand what is the election, so. Exactly. We're talking about two jurisdictions, state and federal. LLC is a state structure. Without the proper election, the federal government doesn't see it as a corporation. It sees it as an alter ego, a disregarded entity. It's like a glorified sole proprietorship. And I had a client come to me, he said, showed me the letter. He had a CPA submit the 1120 for the corporation. They sent it back. Said, we don't have notice of the election. He brought it to me. They said, you have to claim all this on your Schedule C for your individual. I ain't no lawyer. I'm not giving tax advice. I'm telling a story. I'm crazy. He showed me the letter. I told him, like, look, what we can do is we can correct the election now, but what you've done is what you've done. There's no walking backwards with this stuff, especially with these government entities and agencies. So understanding what you're doing and doing it right the first time is very, very important. Because if you do it wrong, you invested all this energy, most people get tapped out. They're not going to try to circle back and do it again. Give up. And that desire to walk the path, to become free or more free is gone. It dissipates. So when it comes to getting a 9-8 number, you might get the 9-8. Look, there's ways. Look, I tell people how to do it on a consultation. You can give them a call, right? And they'll issue a 9-8 number for the entity. You can name it whatever you want. They'll issue an EIN for it. Do you have a trust indenture? Do you have the substance? Do you? Do you know how to administer this? Do you know how to stand on it? Do you know how to respond to any letter that looks something similar to this? When they start asking questions about who the beneficiaries, are they U.S. citizens? Who's the grantor? Can you substantiate that? Well, no. They want social security numbers or they want EINs. depending on the contract. And if you don't have a contract, boom, they're applying all these internal revenue codes and state statutes to your situation. And then even then, you get the 9A number right. You got to go to the bank and open the trust account, right? They're going to ask for a social security number. What are you going to do then? This is the importance of getting the proper education from the proper place. And some would say, get a credit privacy number, get a CPN. And some would say that's a good idea. And there are others who would say that that's illegal. And to those, I would say this is the mortgage fraud report from the FBI. This is FBI.gov. This is from 2008. This is the FBI. You see what I'm talking about? You see it says FBI. You see it says search FBI. I'll leave the links in the description. We're going to scroll all the way down here to the footnotes. Oops, went too far. Footnotes. And we're talking real dances, right? Footnote 35, FBI, credit privacy numbers. CPNs are 9-digit file numbers that follow the same algorithm of Social Security account numbers. Social Security account numbers, SSANs. So it's official, Social Security account numbers. Currently, federal law allows individuals to legally use CPNs for financial reporting and protects those individuals who do not wish to disclose their SSAN, Social Security account number. But be aware, individuals who acquire CPNs are completely responsible for any debt they incur using this number. Acquiring a CPN is supposed to be a free service. Therefore, websites that offer CPNs for a fee are most likely scammers. What do they say? They just break down what a CPN is, and they just say that it's legal to use them and that they will protect. It's a federal protection. Y'all should check this out. Links in the description. Because I could be crazy. I could be outro. Completely out of here. But what is it with this 9-8 number that's so spectacular? I'm telling y'all, like I said in the beginning, it boils down to taxes. When people understand that every single structure that you're familiar with is governed by the state, has a state seal on it, including the birth certificate. I don't care what anyone says. The birth certificate has a state seal on it, man. Just like articles of incorporation, articles of organization. They have state seals on them. Go check. And all of these state structures, these public structures, are heavily controlled, not only by state statute, but by the federal code with regards to the IRS. And, savvy and wise men and women stumbling through the fog have begun to understand there are other structures, right? There are other structures that allow for commercial interface with the public. You can get bank accounts with them. You can title property, vehicles, real estate. You can get trust brokerage accounts with them. You can set up endowments with them. Anything that an individual or a corporation can do, one of these foreign trusts can do. There's power in that. I admit that. There's a lot of power in that. A lot. And people are looking for this stuff. They're looking for this information. How do we do this? How do I go private? I've read the Internal Revenue Code and I came one way with this comprehension. And I don't want to. Well, you got to know what you're doing, because how a thing is bound is the way it's unbound. You can't just jump out the window. You can't run up the stairs. Walk up the stairs takes you 15 minutes to walk up the stairs. How you got there is how you get out. Unless there's an elevator, jump out the window and see what happens. It's not safe. So being knowledgeable and versed in this information is of great importance. Absolutely, absolutely important. And double checking. You have to verify. Trust but verify. Don't believe anybody. Charisma, cult of personality, good looks. They smell good. You like the tone of their voice. They look like a star. Doesn't matter. Trust but verify. 100%. Because incorrect information incorrectly applied can get you hurt. Correct information incorrectly applied can get you hurt. So we trying to, apply that correct information. IRS business structures. When beginning a business, you must decide what form of business entity to establish. Your form of business determines which income tax return form you have to file. And they go on to say the most common forms. The most common is not exclusive, meaning when they say the most common, that implies that there are uncommon forms. The most common forms of business are sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, and S corporation. A limited liability company is a business structure allowed by state statute. Legal and tax considerations enter into selecting a business structure. Some people have heard of business trusts. But I want to be clear. A 9A number does not take the place of a social security number. That's fraudulent. In my opinion, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I could be sitting here in my Superman underwear right now. Y'all don't know. Don't believe me. Trust but verify. So what did we get into? We got into the common benefits and misconceptions of the 9-8 number. Now, a 9-8 number pairs beautifully. It pairs luxuriously with trustee training. I would also say a CPN pairs luxuriously with a 9-8 number. If you want to go that far, you got it, then fine. Go all the way. Me personally, is it required? No, I don't think it's required. Do you have to get a foreign EIN to substantiate a foreign trust, specifically a trust that is protected by the Constitution with regards to contract? Or things of that nature? I don't think it matters. I don't think the EIN matters. I think a regular EIN matters. Does it matter if you're administering a private trust, if you use your social security number to open the trust bank account? I don't think it matters. I think it's all about the substance over the form. I think it's more about what's going on with the administration and if this is being administered properly, and if it's not, if it's being administered in a way that might be construed as some sort of alter ego, some sort of disregarded entity, or is it being administered in a way that's proper in form as well as substance? Because that's what it's about. Which EIN? Is there a social security number on the bank account? Look, man, there's going to be allegations coming from one party, and there must be rebuttals coming from the other party. And if you're able to do that successfully, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter. In my opinion, like I said, I could be crazy, be out here tripping, but I'm going to say it doesn't matter. Because ultimately, as I said, it's substance over form. It's a substance over form doctrine when you're dealing with this stuff. Now, other tax benefits, absolutely. In my opinion, am I giving you legal advice? Absolutely not. But are there tax benefits to these types of structures? Yes. Is it going to be enough to get one? No, absolutely not. That's where people make the mistake. Because you saw, I showed you, they're looking for the disbursement of the taxable income of the trust, where to go. And I'm going to tell you this. One of the biggest red flags is a trust that doesn't have K1s. Where you try to expense everything at the trust, singular trust level. Yeah, good luck. So I'm going to tell you, it's a system of interrelating trusts, y'all. And you're not the grantor. Or maybe you are. I don't know. It's up to you. I don't know your dance. I don't know your dance. I know I'll tell you I'm not the grantor of any of the trusts that I administer, which is several. But link in the description, trustee training. Of course, in the training, you learn how to craft trust indentures with the proper language. Of course you do. Of course, in trustee training, you learn how to open a trust bank account at a local, regional, or national bank. It's up to you. I tell people, listen, do you travel? Me personally, I'm more into the convenience. If there's an issue and I'm out of the town, I'm out of state, I would like the convenience to be able to walk into an actual branch of the bank where the trust has accounts and talk to a banker versus having to get on the phone or try to deal with the online dance. If you don't travel, if it's not a big deal, it can be a local, regional bank. I've never dealt with the trustee in training that has ultimately not been able to get their trust account open. Never. Not one time. Straight up. Do you learn how to stand on the substance of all the transactions and how to perform and take advantage of the protections of the private contract? Absolutely. Why not? Why wouldn't you? It's absolute. Do you have to do something different? Yes. To get a different result in your life? Yes. Yes. To go somewhere you've never been, you have to do something that you've never done. If you've never been to the Cayman Islands, you have to do something that you've never done to get there, which is fly to the Cayman Islands. To me, it's simple. Now, y'all can check the history, check it. I've been doing this for a long time. You can check the history. These gurus come back and forth, and then maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you don't see them anymore. And, I might be talking in some kind of code, not being very direct, but it's all in the training, y'all. Link in the description. Now, with that being said, y'all, I trust that you understand the benefits and misconceptions of the 98 number, that you won't go astray. You won't get yourself into trouble now if you may or may not be dealing with the 98 number or attempting to. And that you understand fully that there's two pieces needed with regards to every business, right? Let me start off with the individual. You need a birth certificate and a social security number. What they do is you take the birth certificate, go to get an ID or driver's license. Now you need a driver's license and social security number. Either way, the driver's license or ID has a state seal on it, and the social security number is federal. So you got state and federal. Boom. Now you can open a bank account. With regards to an LLC, you need the articles of organization and the EIN. And sometimes a banking resolution document. But most times you just need the articles of organization and the EIN to open a bank account. With a corporation, you need the articles of incorporation and the EIN. Sometimes you might need a banking authorization. But most times you just need the articles of incorporation and the EIN. You need the partnership agreement and the EIN to open up a partnership account or an account for a partnership. And you need the governing instrument, whether it's articles or bylaws or whatever, in the EIN to open up a checking account or a bank account for a nonprofit. These are the two things you need. Everyone, every structure. And the same thing, you need a trust indenture and you need an EIN. To me, I'm telling you, my mentor told me, may he rest in peace. My mentor told me, it don't matter if it's a 9/8 foreign EIN or if it's a domestic EIN. That's the form. What's the substance? How do you administer it? I'm sorry, I talked y'all ear off, but I hope you learned something. And, I look forward to speaking to you in the future. And with that being said, y'all take care of yourself. Enjoy yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow on current events. I will. I promise. Peace, y'all.